we're not, nor do we need to be, visible or viewed all of the time. But the hiding and the secrets are out of control. The what do we call it? Self-conscious behavior, or hell, even self-destructive. We just beat on people, right? I mean, as a society, we just beat everybody down, make them ashamed to be who and what they are. We don't pick them up and brush them off and point them in a direction that they might want to go, and help them out if they're not making it. You know, really get them where they want to be. Make people comfortable with the way they're made. And this is important. Now, I think I mentioned before, we have nature creating these creatures that work, right? And they adapt over time. And it's not necessarily a genetic memory so much as it is the progression of that species being better at surviving. And this can happen many different ways. You know, if you're better at survival, you're healthier. Health is an attractive thing. And if you're an animal and you're healthy, and another animal, then you're mating, and you're making better offspring, or different offspring, and then changes occur, and the better and better that the creatures are, the subtle variations in DNA mutation, however that should happen to work, whether it be a fluke or not. But it is not wrong to want to produce healthy, strong offspring. And in this society, I don't think that it is wrong either. I think we need to make a different approach about how we handle the offspring that do not come out necessarily, breeder quality. And that's, it's okay. We have a lot of orphans. I know, I myself wanted to make another creature. I made 2. I'm very happy about that. The genes I chose to copulate with were questionable, but at the time I thought mine were pretty good. I mean, I know that if I have any daughters, they'll need glasses. I haven't had any daughters. As it is, I might need glasses. And I don't know, maybe my boys will need some glasses too. I've got some issues with my teeth. Jace has developing issues with his teeth. Caleb is Caleb's different too. Now, Jet and Cal, my boys, they are an absolute wonder for me. I adore them. They're great. Don't regret it. Haven't made the decision. I'm dealing with the situation, but that's the thing. Not everybody can deal with the situation. This is important. Now, I was talking about glasses and that as a need. We get so hung up on the idea of doctors being able to fix everything, but they don't fix. They make adjustments for for somebody until that person dies. If that person passes on their genes, if they reproduce, nothing's been fixed. We're not there yet. What we're creating is a dependency on the healthcare institute, which isn't really provided if you can't afford it. I mean, so if you don't have the means, you shouldn't be having kids. But there are a lot of people. That's a whole topic in this country that I know has been ground to death. But health-wise, we are creating a dependency on the institution because we're making kids unhealthier by having them, because we're not being more selective with our breeding process, with our reproductive choices, because there are illusions, there are implants and plugs and suctions and replacements and hair color and makeup and all manner of thing to create the illusion that you're worth reproducing. You think about all of the pain you live through. You think about all of the money you spent looking a certain way or feeling a certain way. And you think how much more you'll have to shell out, or your child will have to shell out for their life. And it's a hard thing to think about. It's not something we want to agree with. But we're not a healthy bunch of people. A good lot of us are. And we need to keep them. We need to keep them. We need to raise the orphans, get those into homes, stop having people reproduce unless they, are going to produce a future worth having. Get rid of the dependency on the medical institution that we have, that we need to have all of the pills and the vitamins and the shots all the time. Because we were doing all right before. We wouldn't have got here without it. And now that things are kind of going to crap because we have all of the medicine, and that's what's doing it. Medicine introduced the decline of the human physicality. Probably mentality too, ever so slightly. Maybe that's something else. Maybe that's a social something, or a contact. Busy? There's so many factors. But the real point of it is be you. And, there's a need inside to reproduce, to create something, to live on in a way. And not for everybody. But for those that have it, find a way to get that out. Release it in another way. You don't necessarily need to have a child of your own. No, you don't need to necessarily reproduce. But there are alternatives to reproducing. Heck, you could. And that's the thing. It's just. There's so much to say. There's so much that can be done, that shouldn't be done, that is happening, could be happening, and everybody's looking at it like it's such a big problem to change, and it is, and it's only because there's so many of us, and so much of a problem, and so few of us working together to change it. Because the system that we have now really only propagates itself. Change is slow inside of it. We're all slow to adapt and change because we like how things are. Regardless of how, it's the latest and greatest new technology. We're fine with that. Whatever. What else do we do? No, don't change anything. Things are changing all the time, and they go unnoticed. But you got to point it out. Oh no, don't change anything. All right, sorry. I'm trying to help myself vent some frustrations. Wasn't the most concise of rants, but lots of love to everybody. Love smart. Be well.